This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Tech.
You know, the question I asked you off air during that last break, I sent a text message to the coroner's office asking the same thing, and I guarantee he's going to cheap shot me.
I don't remember the question you asked me.
Oh, you don't?
Even though it was like 2 minutes ago.
It has to do with dollars and cents. And we'll see what he has to say. Oh, the legendary Mark Rosen is now here. How are you, my friend?
I just left the coroner's office.
Speaking of dollars and cents, give me $1.85 and I'll let you out of the Lakers Wolves.
Oh, I don't even care. I'll give you $5 if you want. I just don't even care.
Have you heard that? He said he would give me $5 if I want it.
Well, you owe me $2 for if the Wild don't beat Vegas. So, I mean, you don't talk about that.
Offer me $1.85 and I might buy it out.
I don't care. I don't even give it a second thought. It's just
Mr. Moneybags.
Oh, yeah, $2.
Mr. Moneybags.
You can't get a cup of coffee for $2 anymore. So what? It's irrelevant in the conversation.
Well, then if you win the bet, you don't want the money?
I don't care. Give it to charity. Give it to Tenna.
Are you saying
I'll take it.
Yeah, give it to
Are you saying he's a charity case? That's what it sounds like to me.
Sounds like
way to talk down to me there.
No, give it to Mac's making way too much money now. I don't care who you give it to.
You're just looking down at $2 like I'm Mr. Moneybags.
No, I'm not looking down.
Oh, no, we know. I mean, it's available to everyone.
Yeah, it's available to everybody.
Courtside seats, swordfish dinners.
I don't sit courtside.
Well, you have many times.
I'm not many times, probably 4.
Chanhassen this, Guthrie that.
Chanhassen. I passed on the Chanhassen. Don't you remember? My wife went to the Chanhassen. It was not beneath me. I just had other plans. But
$1.75 my last offer.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Oh, you will? Okay,
sure.
give me $1.75.
I don't know if I have. Who has 75 cents on them anymore? I don't. You have change? You ever have change on you? I have it in my car. I have $1.
Okay, well then we'll just wait.
Yeah, we'll just wait. I have it in my car.
Right, very good.
I mean, I was talking to someone about that. Do you have I have like a glass jar at home, and when I do have change in my pocket, a lot of places don't even take cash anymore.
They won't take cash anymore. How sad is that?
It's awful. But when I do get change, I can just throw it in the kitty, as they say, throw it in the glass jar. And then
when you go to the gas pump, do you check where you put the card in? Do you check to see if they've got one of those? What's the word for that?
No.
There's fake ones that they put on top. You don't check for that?
I haven't had a problem with it.
Well, you haven't yet, but there's always that one time.
99% of the time I go to Bobby and Steve and Bobby's. Yeah, I live
Bobby
right
and
there.
Steve could still not know somebody came in there and slapped that bad boy on top. It's called a skimmer.
I don't know.
It's called a skimmer.
So what am I supposed to look for? Like there's a device?
You touch this. You grab the top of the skimmer and you rattle it a little bit, try to pull on it and see if, because they'll put what looks like a skimmer right on top of it you can't even notice. Then they steal your credit card information and they'll go to Macy's and spend all of your money, man.
Macy's? Okay. No, I have not. So guilty as charged. I trust people more than probably should.
Let's start with, did you hear J.J. McCarthy today?
I did. I was just driving back from a lunch I had with a good friend of mine I haven't seen in a while. Unfortunately, he's had some health issues, so it was great to see him.
Who?
I'm not going to. Former coworker of mine.
Very good.
We just took him off to lunch and had a great time, and been a long time. And so I was listening, of course, as I always do on the way home, and I caught it just this when you were going to go 5-3-4, and then went to JJ. So I heard great question, and I heard he's very polished.
Pressure is a privilege.
Yes, he's
observations from the shadows, neutral baseline, and calm in the chaos.
Well, it's transcendental meditation. That's why he meditates every morning. He should try
meditate.
No, he's a very.
Music.
You can tell how polished he is.
He is.
He's very for a young man like that. I mean, he's got his.
Well, the softball questions. Is not
I don't know what's soft. I mean, it's just the first. Listen, this isn't a game after they lose a game on the last second.
We'll see how he responds after he throws two pick sixes to lose the game.
Yeah, to the kiddies. Yeah, that would be terrible.
We'll see how smooth he is.
But no, I mean, it's just a start. That's all it is. Yeah. And I know everybody's gathered out at the new Winter Park, and a lot of it, a beehive of activity going on out there. And it doesn't feel like it right now because it's only, the end of April. But we know how the calendar flips and goes, and hopefully the Wild and the Wolves will provide us a little longer winter months sports activities until the Vikings get serious about things. But yeah, it was good to see him and hear him and talk about what's in store. But it's clearly he's the guy, and Sam Howell's the backup, and the rest of it is who's going to be the third one. They invited Max. They signed Max Brosmer. They got. Who's the other guy they have on the roster? Rippon, yeah. Third quarterback's hardly, a conversation, but you want some live arms during camp and OTAs and all that, and have these guys get some experience and just, take the pressure off and scout teams and all that kind of stuff. So, but clearly he's the guy, and they've given him a lot of weapons around him, especially in the offensive line.
Denny Green once said, when asked, what are your team's weaknesses? He said, we don't have a weakness. Next question. Do you think the Vikings are a team without a weakness?
No.
What would you pinpoint?
Well, I don't know. I'd say right now,
I think they're a team without a weakness.
At the beginning of the season, and we haven't heard exactly because Jordan Addison's case has not gone through the court system yet, but there's still a strong likelihood he's going to miss the first 3 games, which is a significant number. So you say to yourself, who's their number 2 wide receiver? And then they have a third wide receiver. So I think at the beginning of the year, potentially, that could be a weak spot. Okay. That second spot next to JJ.
And we drafted that guy in the 3rd round. What's his name again, Teneby? The wide receiver we drafted?
Maryland kid.
Teneby?
Yeah.
Who was the wide receiver we drafted?
That we drafted? Yeah. Ty Felton.
What do you think? What if Ty Felton steps right in and Wally Pips?
Jordan Harrison? Yeah, he's probably going to be used more of a kick returner too. But he's going to have an opportunity to play.
He's going to be the number 2 guy. If Addison's suspended for 3 games, he'll be the
They have a couple other guys that they have. But I'm just saying, you're asking me a weakness. I don't know, the perceived weakness. And I think there's still some question marks, rightfully so, in the secondary, but not a lot. Otherwise, they're pretty well set if healthy.
I'm telling you, comeback player of the year is going to be Jeff Okudah. Once B-Flow gets a hold
he was
third pick overall.
If he stays healthy, the Vikings pride themselves on the best medical staff in the NFL.
Injuries have been his biggest issue.
Yeah, it has.
He hasn't stayed on the field long enough to prove if he's a bust or a star, Pro Bowler.
Yeah, that would be a blessing for them.
Bust.
Yeah, if he could stay healthy and be that productive a guy when he was drafted that highly, that would be a nice sleeper pick for you.
Yeah. I guess the other thing to watch too would be, I know the 2 inside defensive players that they signed via free agency are both accomplished, but they both had severe injuries last year. Now, a lot of players come back from injury, so I'm not saying it can't happen, but that'll be one thing to watch to see, can they stay healthy and can they pick up where they left off, because they missed significant portions of last year, but the season before, matter of fact, the last couple of seasons before that, they were very, very good players. They provide inside pass rush, which this team desperately needs.
Well, that's why you have to have as much quality depth at that position as possible. That's why, I think that's why they have stacked the line, both offense and defensive lines, and they have some other guys coming back. And don't forget, the guy I'm circling this year to have the breakout year is Dallas Turner. I think he was a young player. He was kind of invisible. People going, was he a bust? Going, normally in a lot of normal circumstances, rookies like that don't play all that much. I think the expectations when they traded up to get him last year and his reputation, but he was young. He was a little underweight for his position, but I think that what I'm hearing out there is that
he's a playmaker is what he is, Mark.
Correct. And that's second-year guys I always look for that can maybe take that next big step. And I think from a defensive standpoint, Dallas Turner is the guy to keep an eye on.
It sounds as though you're thinking we might be an embarrassment of riches across the board.
I'm thinking they're going to win the division for sure.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
What do you and Deuce would have to say, Tennessee, to the Vikings? Yeah, who does Deuce think is going to win the division?
Before something restored. What do you think of the Lions now?
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Well,
I think as we...
Now what do you think?
Yeah. What do you think of
We
that?
got plenty of time to get to delve into that.
Oh.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Put it this way, I'm so confident in the Kitties, I might bet upwards of $10.
Oh? You better start saving.
Well, I'm going to.
Well,
Above average at that.
you better start saving.
Power Trip Bets even tracks our bets. I love it.
It's funny.
They track our bets.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. But
It is.
Schedule announced 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
From now?
Yeah, May. I don't know. They announced it during the. I love the fact they had an announcement during the draft when they're going to have an announcement when the schedule release is going to come out. Only the NFL and the Vikings, I think, will be playing overseas this year as a road team. We don't know what situation is going to be yet, but they don't have to lose any home games this year as they did a year ago. So
My probably of all the moments on the fan, my favorite is the day they release the schedule and then PA starts going over with Nordo game by game.
Right.
And by the end, he's got him.
Well,
This is what he'll go with. He'll go, I guarantee this is what he's going to say. Should be 14-3. If they steal one, 15-2. If they lose a bad one, 13-4. That's what guaranteed. That's what he'll go.
Did he do that last year? Even though the Vikings were picked to finish last,
I don't remember.
They were picked to finish last, and most people had the over/under was like 7 wins.
Well, no, but he probably didn't have them that high. I'm saying going into this season, last year was probably.
Right.
I think they'll go 12-5. If they lose, if they steal one somewhere, 13-4, and if they lose one along the way, they'll go 11-7. But now, because of their success last year and the moves they made, he'll bump that up higher this year. I guarantee it'll be 15. He's always a 3-game range for him. It'll be 15-2 to 13-4. That'll be the range.
I would just go the opposite way. I just think it's really difficult to duplicate the kind of record the Vikings had a year ago. Again, I think they'll be a better football team, but it's who you play, when you play them, and how healthy you are, and looking at their schedule. They got some they dig deep when they playing the Eagles here. They're playing, I think, the Bengals. They got a whole bunch of playoff type teams they're going to be facing, and they're not going to win all those games. So I would suspect that even though I think they have a better, again, like I said about the Wolves, I think they have a better roster. Doesn't mean they're going to go as far as they did. They said from record wise.
Well, even if you just look at the division, Mark.
Yep.
This past season their division wasn't it the winningest division in the history of the National Football League in the regular season?
Correct.
And there's reasons to believe it's better.
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
I can make an argument the Vikings are better with everything they did in free agency. I'd like to think the Bears are going to be better.
Can't be
the Lions, if they're healthier, could be better.
Yeah.
Packers probably are what they are, but I mean, there's a reason to believe the division got better this year, even though it was the best in the history of the game.
Well, so you have to keep up with the Joneses, as they say, and that's the problem. Is it's just difficult. It's a difficult run. You play 17
you're
games.
Getting ripped. Going out on a limb, predicting the top defensive player in last year's draft will do okay this year.
Top player in last year's draft.
Yeah, Dallas Turner was the first.
The Vikings' top pick.
And then you're predicting that he's going to.
Well, he wasn't their top pick, but
no, I mean, but a lot of people have forgotten about him. I'm just saying, people aren't talking when they talk about the Vikings defense.
We gave up our entire 2025 draft for him, so I hope he's going to be good.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right,
you're banking your reputation on it. Is what you're doing. Your reputation
and my scouts.
Your reputation.
Well, the scouts that I talk to.
So, in other words, if he doesn't do well, you'll blame
I'll
the
blame
scouts.
the scouts.
Of course you will. You've got it all figured out, don't you?
I haven't got this far.
The fraud father at his best.
I haven't got this far by not doing anything else.
Yeah,
no, I really do believe that, but
we got a couple of 13, 14 other items to get to on the other side of the break. Wolves, Wild, Twins, and so much more right here on the Fan.
Yeah, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our National Cash Contest. Enter the keyword BILLS at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is BILLS. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Couple 1314 Pass Common Man program. Number of ways to contact us. 1-800-320-5326. That's our phone number. I believe it's been disconnected for about a year and a half, so I wouldn't bother. There's the what's our email address again? Booth@KFAN.com. Yes. Is that what it is? We don't use that very often anymore either. KFAN Talkback. It's nifty keen. It's sort of kind of new if you have the iHeartRadio app. If you don't download it, put the Fan on your presets. Search for stations, find the Fan. You'll see a little microphone icon in the corner of the screen. Tap it. You got 30 seconds or less to deliver us an audio message. And then there's the ever popular Brad, Sean, Bryant, KFAN text line at 64686. This one says, Lions will not be better without Ben Johnson. That seems impossible. Well, then if that's your logic, then the Vikings won't be as good without Sam Darnold. That would seem impossible. See what I'm saying? You can make that argument all you want. I mean...
Well, I don't think it's the same argument because he's looking at the play calling and what Ben Johnson did as an offensive coordinator, putting that offense in the best possible position to succeed. I don't agree with it because I think you win with the players.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I think it is the same thing because it doesn't matter if it's a personnel guy or a player guy. Sam Darnold was simply brilliant last year until those last 2 games. And the game against the Rams was not his fault. That was the offensive line's fault. So do we expect J.J. McCarthy to be just like... If he does, then it's the greatest draft pick in the history of pro football. Because I don't expect J.J. McCarthy... I guess you're a believer in the quarterback whisper thing. It doesn't matter who he takes, he's going to turn into a great player.
I believe in talent, and I think J.J. McCarthy has the talent. Okay. But also, the question is, will the Lions be as innovative, if you want to use that word? X's and O's and knocking people off. They have a great offensive line. They got 2 terrific running backs. They got, the plethora of wide receivers and a very good quarterback. There are times in the Lions, a lot of it came down to Dan Campbell saying, we're just going to go for it on 4th down, damn the torpedoes. I don't care where we are in the football field. And that's his call, wasn't Ben Johnson's call. But I think there's some innovation that they have. But I don't necessarily agree they're going to have a fall off because Ben Johnson's head coach of the Bears this year. No, I don't see that happening.
Okay.
As long as Danny Campbell's in charge. But I don't know. All right. You're fun.
Well, no, but I just find it's just like we can play that game all day.
Of course you can.
About, guys leaving teams and being replaced.
Every year.
Darnold was one of the main reasons the Vikings got to where they did. I mean, he was brilliant.
Played awfully well.
He was Offensive Player of the Month. Yep. He was in the running for Comeback Player of the Year. for a while there, he was in the hunt for best offensive player, even MVP in the league. So to take him off the team, maybe McCarthy steps right in, and he is good at Darnold or even better, but I'm not so sure. I have to wait and see. I know you don't want to lose your offensive and defensive coordinators. Plenty of football teams have lost their offensive defensive coordinators and not missed a beat because, like you say, the talent is really what does it more than anything. If you believe in Hollywood scripts, as it has to do with sports teams,
right,
then the Golden State Warriors are going to win the whole thing. They were, again, last night.
I watched.
Jimmy Buckets doing his best. Willis Reed, whatever you want to call it. Having missed a game after taking an awful fall. Bruised, contusion on his pelvis or whatever he was.
Well, tailbone, let's just call it that.
He was in awful shape. He came in there and he willed his team to victory in the second half. He had 23 of his 27 points, I think, in the second half. Draymond Green. How about the audacity of the head coach of the Houston Rockets? I'm sorry, I didn't prepare Chad Abbott. I don't know his name. Who's the Rockets head coach's name?
I can't remember his name.
And you're the legendary. So Rip. Then
Rudy
Tomjanovich.
Rudy Tomjanovich. Yeah.
Rudy Tomjanovich decides to give it to Şengün, and Draymond's the guy that's going to go.
Well,
he's decided,
was having a hell of a game.
He's decided with the game on the line, he's going to call the play for, again, he was playing very well against the best defensive player in the league this year. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
No, he didn't already. But
no, I said he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
They finished third, I thought. Third or fourth, Draymond. They already announced it.
He did not finish third or fourth.
Yeah,
There's
he did.
No way.
Yeah, the guy from Orlando.
What?
Yeah, he did. He finished third or something.
Well, you must be thinking of last year or something. There's no way. He was the best He was the best defensive player in the league this year, and he showed it again last night. He was simple. He got in that guy, and Şengün couldn't get the shot off. And
he got the shot. Well, he did block.
Well,
it.
He
got a hand on it.
Yeah, it's just.
But he was the play, the safe play.
Evan Mobley won it.
Mobley, yeah, that's what I thought.
Well,
yeah,
Mobley. Anyway,
I can't wait for the Wolves to play Golden State. I can't wait. I think that's going to be after beating the Lakers, and then coming back. I mean, imagine just to go the gamut, the gauntlet they have to run, and to have Steph Curry and Jimmy Buckets coming to Target Center after Doncic and LeBron come to Target Center, and they follow that up with that team. I mean, that's why I'm pulling for Golden State. For no other reason, Houston's a fun team. They're a good team. I'm saying a bunch of nobodies, but they have some good players. Probably outkick their coverage this year a little bit where they finished, but and the Timberwolves would have home court advantage against Golden State. I mean, it's just the lower seeds. It shows you again when you play 82 games. OKC is clearly the favorite to get to the championship, but I still think they're going to have their hands full, especially if they play the Clippers. That series is tied at 2-2, but Denver can get. And they're going to have an awakening. Put it that way. They're going to be tested. But anyway, Golden State's fun to watch. It's a very entertaining team. Steph Curry did not have a great game. It didn't matter, and they still he didn't take
Jimmy
over.
Butler barely able to walk.
Yeah,
I heard. I haven't had anybody confirm this. They had to chisel him out of a body cast in the locker room before the game started. No, before the game started.
He was in a body cast.
They rolled him in a full body cast.
Yeah, that's really
chiseled. They said, "Well, you can watch the game from back here," and he said, "Take off the cast." So they chiseled it off, and then he went out there, and he was simply brilliant last night.
Yeah, that's a feisty game too. There are a lot of pushing and shoving and technical falls.
And then there's Tennessee had mentioned this too, and I don't know if you didn't mention it here, but Tennessee mentioned it. Remember all the negative things Draymond had to say about Gobert? So you got that too.
Oh, absolutely.
So you throw that in there, and it has all the elements. It has all your little sidebar. What's the word I'm looking for? Sidebar stories that are
just star quality. I mean, and Ant, of course, has elevated his to a stratosphere, especially in the fourth quarter, because that's when the big guns, the big stars play their best in the playoff game in the fourth quarter. And that's what, obviously Ant did the other day, and that's what he's been doing. And,
little tougher competition defensively, though. with
Golden State's awfully good, but the Lakers had a good defense this year.
Since Jimmy Butler came to Golden State, unless that's changed, I probably got this wrong, too, because I can't believe Draymond didn't win. I voted for him. I have that vote as part of the NBA Writers Association. Yeah,
I didn't realize
and I
never watch a game all year.
And
it's
I voted for him.
Unusual.
I think since Butler came back, Golden State statistically has the best defense in the National Basketball Association.
It's possible. Yeah, they've been playing at a high level.
Because Butler can play defense
when he wants to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he wants to now.
What do you mean when he wants to?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
when he's playing, he wants to.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting because he normally doesn't play at Target Center. I guess he'll have to this time.
Well, they were a skip team at that before.
Skip team. No, it's got all the elements. That's what I'm saying. I really do want Golden State to, and I think they will.
Be careful what you wish for, Mark.
Well, no, I just think it'd be a much more intriguing series. I'm not saying the Wolves are going to sweep them. I'm just saying.
No, but I'm just saying, be careful what you wish, because you want Golden State. Maybe they'd be better off playing Houston, Mark.
They might be, but
That's
I don't
what I'm
care.
saying.
I just from the star quality, and as Ant hopefully will take this next step. I mean, when he's playing as he did last year, and eventually, of course, he got flattened by Dallas. It wasn't him, but the team did. You can't ask for a better matchup from star quality standpoint.
I did hear you complaining about the missed call that when Doncic got tripped late in the game.
Well, there were a whole bunch of the league. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that could have won the game for him. I honestly was sitting there watching it, and as tense as that game was, and intense, it was the most intense basketball game I've seen at Target Center since 2004. I thought the Lakers had it in the bag pretty much.
Yeah.
10-point lead. The calls, bad
and
calls
the
were made.
refs gave it to him.
Well, the refs gave it to him. Here's an idea, LeBron. Don't throw the ball. Don't have a turnover like you did either.
But if they'd called the play, they wouldn't have had to worry about the turnover.
Not necessarily.
Because he would have made the free throws. Doncic is clutch.
He is.
You got gifted a game. Just accept it. You and
I'll take it.
You and A-Rod and your buddy Lori and Kilbsy.
Maybe
all you guys, you got your gift.
Maybe JJ Redick can find someone else who's in uniform for the Lakers who would actually like to play in the game.
Well, they could use some, that's for sure.
At least one player.
We'll break and come back. Got's plenty more to get to here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Man.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. Common Tennessee. Mark Rosen, last segment of the day. Mark back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Tennessee and I start at noon. Then Tenna's out for a couple of days this week. Boys Day and Friday and Monday he'll be back on. Tuesday, no Lil B this Friday. Don't even think we're going to do a program password. It was Tennessee and Lil B out. No one wants to put the work in. Why are so many people afraid of work?
I don't understand.
Never understood it. They just don't want to put in that. They give it that extra effort that we're looking for here on the Common Man program. I can't say it with a straight face.
No, I really can't.
Starting to sweat and cry at the same time. Must be menopause I'm going through.
Yeah, sure, that's it.
Heartbreaking. I'm not ready to say soul-crushing loss, but certainly heartbreaking. Wild Sunday or Saturday. First time they'd been 31-0 after leading. After two periods. They surrendered the lead. They go into overtime, hotly contested overtime, and I think the Wild actually had some really good scoring opportunities, couldn't capitalize, and then Middleton makes kind of sort of fanned or flipped a pass that wasn't real effective. Scrum in front of the net that goes in. 4-3 loss OT. Game 5 tonight. Your thoughts?
Well, I thought Vegas would have even more of a decided edge given their experience and overall balance on their lines compared to the one spectacular line the Wild have, and trying to fill in the blanks with guys that are just not known for their scoring. But here they are. The Wild have been hanging with them. Obviously, they got game one in Vegas. They got to try to do it again tonight to give them a chance to maybe win it all here Thursday night. But I think what you're seeing is the home ice doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. At least it can, but at times it just in this case it doesn't. I think Minnesota's made a pretty good case for themselves. I know they're scratching the kid tonight. Zeev Boyum's not playing tonight. So they're, Guerin and company and Hines has decided to go with a more veteran lineup tonight. But it's we were talking about the big hitters and what the Timberwolves have been doing with the Wild. I mean, it's Kaprizov and Boldy and Zuccarello. I mean, it's Kaprizov and Boldy. Maybe we just stop right there. Those two guys.
You're saying it's Spawn, saying and pray for rain.
I mean, it's just the level that Kaprizov's having a spectacular series, obviously, and obviously Gus Bus has to do his part in goal. But it feels like they got to get those guys going, and they got to continue to put points on the board and score. Otherwise, Vegas is going to just find a way of their balance. But it's been an entertaining series. It's been good. It's been fun to watch. I think the Wild are learning a lot. A lot of the younger players are learning a lot, but at the same time, you have an opportunity. I mean, it's 2-2. I mean, you have that opportunity to kind of still find a way to win this thing. No matter what, they're coming back here Thursday night. Try to make it if it has to, a 7-game series. But I don't think the Wild are sitting there going, "Oh my God, we got to find a way to win in Vegas." They did in game one, so I think you can kind of getting off to a good start. But
they won game 2 there.
Game 2, excuse me. Yeah, right. Game 2 would be paramount to their opportunities tonight.
Takes glee in correcting you.
Not at all. I just
he's right.
want to be accurate.
I know, but it just seems like you take glee in it.
She's right. You get.
He takes glee in correcting me.
Try to remember that. Like
both you guys
the
are
Wolves. Winning. Wait, the Wolves win game 1 in L.A. or game 2 in L.A. It's just, and then you're watching so many, and I'm like you. I'm watching playoff series flipping around.
Oh, you are?
Every night. Oh, yeah. I'm watching probably too much. But Stanley Cup hockey's great. Last night, the Golden State game, and you're trying to keep up with that. And
why don't you correct me some more?
I don't really want to.
I'll say something. By the time I get to the end of the show, I'll make 3 mistakes at least. Minimum.
But
I will correct you and then smile.
Yeah.
I'll take glee in it.
Yeah, I can see it. That's all right. I don't blame you, really.
But I heard...
I take glee in getting Rosen.
The respect and I'm not the first one to say this, but Michael Russo is amazing to me as a writer, as a columnist, as whatever you want to call him, as a broadcaster when he's on the air with all of the people he's on with at this station. But he is not afraid to call out the coach, the management.
Nor is Teneby. Teneby's the best hockey mind.
And I know I just blanked out on who Marco Rossi. He's been on that kick lately, and rightfully so, maybe because he seems to be in the doghouse. He didn't play very much in the other the game, and he's one of the rare players on the Wolves, the Wild, that have the ability to put the puck in the net. That sounds silly, but he just does. Yet he doesn't see the ice very much because they don't like other parts of his game. So I don't know. They're the coach. They're the GM. They kind of lay out the groundwork for him. But I like the fact that Russo pushes back on it and pushes back hard.
I'll give you the same offer, $1.85.
On what?
Well, you picked the Golden Knights to win the series, and I took the Wild. I'll let you out of your bet for $1.85.
Oh.
Well, so you think the Golden Knights are going to win, huh?
Well, I hope not. I'm rooting like hell for the Wild. I don't care about it.
I think you're worried about your bet.
Like I said before, I'll give you a 5.
But I don't think it's the money. To me, it's the pride of winning.
It's not going out on a limb to pick one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup in the series, and the Wild haven't won a first-round series in how long? It's not like I don't want them to win. You asked me who I thought was going to win, and I said the Golden Knights.
I have 2 words or one name for you, Kenny Rogers. When you put your heart in it. And apparently you didn't put your heart into this like I did.
Well, I hope you can. I hope you can play
I took both the Wolves and the Wild.
Yeah. I've said the Wild.
I stand tall for the Wolves. And I've said
the Wolves will beat Golden State if they get that opportunity. And I'll bet you whatever you want when you get to that point. It's both teams. Let's have both teams get there first.
Above average at that.
Yes, because I think they match up really well.
You sound pretty confident for someone who didn't believe in the Wolves before this
It's not
series.
a question of not believing in them.
You didn't. You doubted us. We're going to win.
If I have to say this one more time, every single time we've gone through, whether it's the Twins, all the local sports teams, I get ridiculed mercilessly. You're a homer, you're this, you're that. If I pick Minnesota teams every single time, then that's what I am.
Believe.
And that's what I thought, okay, yeah. And if the Lakers had won the game the other night, as they should have, we'd be talking probably a 7-game series here. Of course I want the Wolves to win. I've said since day one, this is a better roster than they had. DiVincenzo is so good right now, and that's why he's playing a lot more. Naz Reid, finally found his mark in the fourth quarter. I love this team, and I absolutely want them to win. Of course I do.
Look at Rosie gushing up Russo over the airwaves. Sounds like someone trying to get those available to anyone's suites for the X for Game 6. Is that what you're doing?
I don't have to call Russo. I'm gushing over him because you know what? I respect reporters who,
I call it as it is. I rip the local guys and teams all the time.
But you don't have to go face any of those people. You just do it from behind the safety behind a microphone.
Oh, so you're saying I'm a coward.
Well, I'm not saying you're a coward.
Young man, there are things that I've done that would make the hair stand up on the back of
Russo
your neck.
is literally in the trenches every day.
I've always wanted to say that.
I know you just have.
I've always wanted to say
and I just think it's not a columnist.
They can come and talk to me if they...
It's an unusual, and he calls them as he sees them. And he faces the music. That's what I'm saying. And he's not the only one that's done it, but I think he does it at a really high level.
Tenneby, can you get a hold of the committee for the preposterous statement? You've been nominated.
For what?
No, hold on. I'm getting so many coming in that went under the... Hold on. It says, Rosen, comment to the comment man. I'm watching so many games, constantly clicking around, keeping track of all the sports going on right now.
I am.
You
staying up way late at night. Yeah, I'm not watching, Petticoat Junction or whatever you watch.
Rockford Files.
Yeah, I know you do.
Gigans.
No, I think for a lot of folks, there's always like late last night I watched and I going, what am I doing? Go to bed. I'm watching the Golden State game, the end of it. Instead of turning it off in the fourth quarter, I watched that, and I watched hockey late night. It's fun. This is a great time of year for fans of both sports. I'm not picking a favorite in either one, but you have a lot of late night viewing, and tonight's going to be another one.
Let's just say I was a Jimmy Butler guy before you were a Jimmy Butler.
Well, you were, and I don't disagree with that, and I know that. That's why I say I welcome the idea. That's why I think I love matchups like this. This is all I'm saying. We have to celebrate this. It doesn't happen very often, like other cities where we get this like Halley's Comet coming through town.
Every
both teams are playing and hopefully advancing to the next round. It just doesn't happen. So. As Mike Tice said, enjoy the postseason.
How about your Twins club? You had given up on them. You were very bitter with that club.
You know what?
You weren't even watching them. You said they're impossible to watch.
They were.
You weren't even watching.
They were. That's just a fact. And most people are boycotting Target Field, feeling like it. And I've said at the same time, it's like they're in a division that's very winnable, and it's April baseball. So let's just Yeah, everything was going wrong for them. They keep getting injury after injury. Guys, now Correa's finally snapping out of it. They're getting good starting pitching. I didn't give up on them. They were awful.
Well, now they're on a roll. 6 of their last 7.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. I like watching Bader play left field. He reminds me of Dan Gladden.
Danny Gladden?
He does. He's got a little Danny Gladden in him. He's more muscular, I think, but he's got that. He's got speed. He's got that kind of that aggressive approach at the plate. I didn't know anything about him. He reminds me of
Pete Rose. Is who he reminds me of. Charlie Hustle.
He's got the hair. He's got a lot going for him. I think he's just got that look. And he's good. He's a hell of a defensive outfielder.
He's got that look. He's won a Gold Glove, I think. At one time.
I think he did. Yeah. So it's be nice to get Royce back. They need him and Willie Castro. They're closer to getting back.
Well, I don't think we need him right now. All we do is tear the cover off the ball. 6 out of our last 7.
Yeah.
And you know what? We would have won that. We would have come from behind in that range short and 7 inning game. We would have won that. We would have won 7-7.
Yeah.
Think about this. If we miss a playoff spot by 1 game, it's actually by 3 innings.
Yeah.
Not one game by 3 innings is what we lost.
Well, it wasn't one. It was, what was it, 3-0?
Well, yeah, but 3-0's nothing with the Bomba squad.
That's true.
All we do is score
should have
runs
played that
now.
game. They probably should have just called it off.
What I do like to see is allowing Ober to go 8 innings. And I don't know what his pitch count did. I thought somebody told me, I checked my emails this morning before I left, that he was up near 100 pitches last night. That just seems,
I have to check.
I don't believe that. Could you see how many pitches Ober threw last night?
Yep.
But the part about it was apparently he wasn't striking a lot of people out, but he even said it. He had to quote something about when you're getting the support with runs, you don't have to nibble at the corners and stuff. You can just try to overpower guys. You can try to get guys out. You can make them swing and miss if you have to. Get them to put the ball in play.
Yep.
It's a lot easier to pitch when you have a lead.
He threw 102 pitches.
102. That's a lot of pitches.
For Rocco Baldelli, starting pitcher.
And but he was pretty masterful. With 3 hits, I think he was masterful.
8 hits.
Was it 8?
I take so much glee.
Yeah, I think a lot.
Getting that wrong.
It seemed like 3.
Seemed like 3.
He was really good last night.
So you got Paddock going tonight. And then they go to Boston this weekend, I know. So that's why I'm saying it would be nice. You know, you want to get these guys ramped up, but that's why Royce Lewis and Willie Castro have been playing over in St. Paul. They've been, you got to get them out there and get them back in the lineup, especially Royce. You just do. He means a lot to this ball club.
This one says the legendary one staying up later at 75 than he was at 45.
Actually, I kind of am. It feels like I'm not 75, but a lot of late nights.
Heads up, comment driving down 94. Got to be careful with all the bandwagon debris scattered across the highway. Word was Rosie wagon headed through earlier in the day.
Didn't even make sense.
I don't know either. He was typing so frantically that you couldn't even get it out right.
Gibberish.
It's just so good. Oh, how about this? Comment now Rosen's calling Dazzled Dan a weakling. Because you kind of did. You said he's more muscular than Gladden.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that.
Isn't that how you took that, Tenneby? Yeah. He was basically calling Gladden.
No, calling out. Gladden was wiry, I thought. I just like his approach to play. I'm not comparing his biceps. I'm just looking at Bader. You can tell his lifts. I mean, he's a strong dude. But,
he's a strong kid.
But, he just reminds me physically of him a little bit.
Well, then there were 3 guys I had on Roger Clemens' son. I didn't even know he was in the league. He plays for us. When did we get him? How long has he been with the
Well, they were down a couple guys. So
did we draft him or where did we get him?
No, they just picked him up off the waiver wire.
So they just, off the scrap heap, he comes in and contributes. I think 3 guys came in off the scrap heap and contributed. Basically. 2 or 3, just like that.
Well, they
get here. It's sort of like when quarterbacks get under the tutelage of KOC.
Right,
they turn into stars. You bring them here under Baldelli, and they turn into stars.
I don't think young Mr. Clemens will play much. He'll be out of here as soon as Royce and/or Willie Castro are ready.
You can hear Tenneby rubbing his grubby little hockey gloves together every time he gets to correct the 2 of you. See, he does. He corrects me and you. You can when you hear this in the background. Yeah. Those are Tenneby's grubby little hockey gloves.
Grubby little.
Those things do get. How often do you think a pro hockey player changes gloves? Because those got to get sweaty and smelly. Do you think they wear the same pair all year long?
I'm not sure with professionals. They can change equipment all the time.
They're
they seem to be
superstitious,
but that's a superstition thing where you see. I remember
my gloves get like holes in them. Yeah.
Somebody for the Wild a year or 2 ago, I don't know who it was, could have been Parrish. Somebody said, "Yeah, I wore the same T-shirt for the last 9 years or something." I mean, that's an exaggeration.
You've got to be kidding me.
Because it's a good luck thing, and you don't want to change it.
Long before the hockey players would disperse like after a game and go in the lock, back in the equipment room where you couldn't go get them. Mm-hmm. Boy, we walk into a North Star hockey locker room over at Met Center. Oh, the stench in there from the uniforms.
Yeah,
and that's what Tom Reed. He had a horrible allergic reaction to his uniform, and almost cost him his career. Yeah, it absolutely. Tom's he's got a lot of stories about it, but he had. It got so bad he almost had to quit.
Seriously?
Yes. It was awful.
Well, who's the? I don't think I made this up. I'm unprepared, but isn't there some quarterback who changes his uniform at halftime every time? I know I saw the story somewhere. I don't know who it was. He has to change out. It's just sweaty and all that. He just wants to have a new uniform on. Does not want to come out with the same uniform. Changes the jersey, the whole thing. That's what I heard. I swore I heard that, but anyway.
Yeah, possible.
Did I see this? I didn't read the story, which means I'm unprepared. I told you Abbott would rip me about the question I asked him. I'm so tired of him. Aren't you just exasperated with Abbott and his negativity and his
constantly,
just never offering any support?
I think he's a swell.
I'm sure you
program director.
Where was the story? It seems like they can't get over the loss last year.
Who's that?
The Lynx.
Oh yeah, I read the story. Yeah, about the bitterness. Yeah, I saw that. I read it this morning.
Okay,
yeah.
well, is it Cheryl still just bitter, or is it the whole team, or what is it?
I think the message was clear that they got robbed in an awful call, which is yes, they
Pain
did.
Of controversial loss won't go away.
Well, they're
very
using it to
clear
fuel
biases.
them this year. Yeah, they are basically unfinished business because they got robbed because the WNBA commissioner. Remember, this is where the conspiracy comes in. She wore a dress depicting the skyline of New York City or whatever to the championship game.
But it was in New York, right?
Yeah.
And they were just celebrating the I don't think there was a bias. You think it was?
I'm just saying that. Well, I think.
Do you think the fix was in? Are you suggesting that?
No, the Wolves. The Lynx could have won the game still on their own, but when push came to shove, they called the phantom fall on the Lynx, and that gave the Liberty a chance to win the game in overtime. No, I mean, a lot of things happened. The Lynx still could have been in their control and won it, but yes, she is using it to fuel their team this year.
I guess it's no different than people still complaining about Drew Pearson pushing off back in 1975. Will Cheryl still be talking about this 30 years from now?
I don't think Cheryl will be coaching 30 years.
But still talking about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Nate Wright still talks about how he didn't.
Paul Krause does.
Right. So maybe sometimes after a while, I guess 1 year, you don't have to move on quite yet. And you're right. Maybe she's just using it as motivation, but she was bitter.
She is.
And you know what? I guess I don't blame her. But I mean, how bitter are you if you're the Detroit Pistons?
Oh, man.
I mean, 3-1 is hard to come back from. Sorry, it would have been 2-2.
Well,
now it's anybody's serious.
The stat was, like I said, I mentioned it today, that I saw that 95% of the teams that are up 3-1 in the NBA playoffs win the series. 95%. Now, that's what's scary about the Timberwolves situation, because it's like, they're not always very good in situations like this, and you have to close it out and put the pedal down, especially on the road. That's see how they react tomorrow night, because I think they could, if they get an early lead, they hopefully can push them over the edge before it gets down to crunch time.
Someone says it was Peyton Manning. Always came out after halftime with a new undershirt, New Jersey. Wanted that feel. I think that's maybe who it was.
Oh.
Had to get it changed out, swapped it out.
It wasn't a superstition. It was because
he just wanted the fresh, feel ready to go. So I guess I don't.
There you go.
I think it's all good there. And then what else? I think that sums it up.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, the Lynx thing was a pretty interesting story today about that. They're starting their season up pretty soon.
Go Lynx.
They got a couple preseason games against our gal Page this week.
Will it be a wet blanket Wednesday tomorrow or not? We'll have to see. The Wild play tonight. Coverage begins on our station at like 7 with
7 o'clock, extended pregame, Kevin Fulness.
Fulness is going to do a long-winded diatribe. He's just going to talk by himself. It's going to be, what did they call that when they in Congress, when they just talk and talk and talk?
Filibuster.
Yeah, he's going to filibuster for
an hour.
90 minutes.
Like Cory Booker.
Like Cory Booker. 90 minutes, Fulness is going to filibuster.
He likes the sound of his own voice.
Puck drops shortly after 8:30. We'll see you tomorrow, too.
Yes, sir.
Teneby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, you as well. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket and JGR next.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Timberwolves superfan KFAN Stan Barrero.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.